Under arrest after a deadly mini market shooting in Little Havana last year. And Local 10's Terrell Fournier is live in Little Havana tonight with the charges those suspects are now facing. Terrell.
And Calvin, all of those suspects under arrest are teenagers. We know that detectives, they spent weeks investigating this murder case, but they also tell us that a series of confessions backed up by surveillance video and also some cell phone information helped lead to this arrest. Desiree Gonzalez was an innocent bystander who was simply walking out of a mini-mart in Little Havana just 2 nights after Christmas when gunfire erupted outside of the store. The 39-year-old was hit by bullets and died at a hospital. Now, more than a month after the shootout that had nothing to do with her, police have since arrested 4 teens for the murder.
Man. No, rest in peace to the woman who was minding her business, coming out of the convenience store, just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Because these 14s here who've been accused of having the shootout or whatever they had going on. They was on like electric mopeds or bikes or whatever they was on mobily. Had guns, and another reason why teens shouldn't have guns. I mean, adults have guns and they still do stuff like this. So if that happens, then teens definitely shouldn't have access to guns. But rhetorical question, man. How did they even get the guns? But it's something that's just going on all over America, really, where it's been an increase as far as teens and guns and the reckless violence that comes with that mix and that combination.
4 teens for the murder.
Arrested pursuant to an arrest warrant charging him with accessory after the fact, a first-degree felony, and tampering with physical evidence.
18-year-old Mauricio Baquindano was the first person to be hauled in by detectives. We've learned surveillance video showed 4 individuals on a pair of motorized bikes riding by the market that night. The passengers on each are seen with handguns, taking aim at 2 men standing out front. Detectives have identified both of those gunmen as 18-year-old Jefferson Herrera, who they say was on the bike being steered by Baquindano, and 18-year-old Christian Reyes, a passenger accused of being on the other bike.
You were arrested pursuant to an arrest warrant charging you with 1 count of first-degree murder.
In an arrest warrant, investigators detail a beef that happened a short time prior to the market shooting that involved Baquindano and 18-year-old Abraham Estrada Solano. Cops say someone pointed a weapon at Solano, who then went back and told his acquaintances. That's why the teens were on motorized bikes that night, according to police, allegedly looking for revenge, and found the 2 intended targets outside of the store. However, the bullets that police say they fired missed those individuals and fatally struck Desiree.
Ain't it crazy how that happens? So, according to the story here, someone, was pointing a gun at this one, at this teen. So he went and got his acquaintances, his fellow acquaintances, and then they all decided to get on their mobile bikes and, buddy up, put one driving, one on the handlebars type stuff. And they finally seen the guys who they was looking for, and they didn't even hit those guys. They shot someone that they wasn't supposed to shoot. It's absolutely nuts, man. Probably never went, of course they're teenagers, so I'm not sure if you can go to a gun range at 18 without adult supervision, but more than likely didn't have as much training as they should as far as having a firearm. And if they did, you don't just come back out and just shoot someone in the front of a store. yeah, so these guys want to go and be jail buddies, and now you got to go into jail and fight a whole different type of fight up in there. You got to fight for your life in there. You know, it's not the place that you want to be, especially in the Florida jail. So, from all the like videos I've seen of the experiences in certain jails, like Florida was one of the ones where it's just like, nah, you don't want to be down there locked up at all. But again, my condolences to the woman who, lost her life just going to the store, and then, just the wrong timing, because, these guys rolled by and just had the wrong intentions.
And fatally struck Desiree. And this is that small memorial that neighbors have placed here in honor of Desiree. They tell us that she was a very familiar sight in this neighborhood. She was homeless, but a very friendly person to be around. Nonetheless, we know that all 4 of those teenagers, they remain in jail tonight. However, 2 out of those 4 are being held without bond. We are live in Miami's Little Havana neighborhood. I'm Terrell Forney. Local.
And you know what happened? Once they got the first guy, man, he got the telling. And, they made the other guy may have gotten the telling. And, of course, they're going to do ballistics and see whose gun actually struck her and stuff like that. But, they was telling. They're going to tell on each other. I mean, you can look and see that, like, this guy, this guy's going to tell. This guy on the far left, he's gonna tell for sure. It's craziness. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. Till more information comes out. If you like my content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. This is Justin Paul. Peace.